What's up, everybody? It's another brisk day here at BFE, New Jersey, and today we're going to be working on Mud Cricket's front wheel bearings. They do have a little slop in them, and we're going to see if we can't get rid of that. Now, all of the stuff in the front beam is new. Spindles, bearings, hubs. Well, I shouldn't say brand new. They're about 4 years old now, but it was all assembled at one time. They were a little sloppy when I originally put them on the car, but at that time the car was on jack stands, and I had a million other things to work on, so it kind of went on the back burner. It was, once we took it off the jack stands, it was now a rolling chassis. I wasn't driving it anywhere. At that time, she didn't even have an engine or transmission in it, so or transaxle rather. So my wife and I are headed to Florida for the daughter of our first granddaughter, and so I'm dying to take Mud Cricket with us. So I have to get these front wheel bearings in order to use the tow bar to bring it with us, and I'm so stoked I can't even tell you guys. I mean, I can't, and there's no words to describe my anticipation of this trip. And but all of bringing Mud Cricket with us is dependent on me getting a plate on Tuesday. So fingers crossed that happens. I don't know, New Jersey might not like Mud Cricket at all, but we're gonna find out. So, but anyway, we're gonna do the front wheel bearings today and find out what the deal is on why they're sloppy, because no matter how tight I put that axle nut on, they still have a little bit of slop to them. So let's get to it. Well, first things first, wheels gotta come off. Next, cap's got to come off. Yes, I was missing the C-clip, the circlip, E-clip, however you want to call it. My old man used to call them Jesus Christ clips, because every time he'd take one off and fly across the shop and he'd yell, Jesus Christ! So then, next up, so we got the car up in the air. We've pulled the wheel off, pulled the hub off. I had to pull the caliper in preparation to do that, but it's okay. But the best I can tell is that the thrust washer, and I'm going to show you here in a second. The thrust washer for this spindle, you'll notice it doesn't go all the way in. I mean, I know that's tapered. So, but there's no play in the bearing here. So I'm gonna try. These are brand new, by the way. I mean, granted, the car has got, I don't know, a couple miles on it, but that's about it. But it doesn't look very good. So I'm gonna grind on it to try to open this up a little bit. I did check the inside of these here. These here look okay, but they were a bitch to get off. So I'm thinking that this washer here is holding up the whole, as I put the axle nut on, it's not allowing this to go in another smidge, because they're not that loose. So I'm just going to take a little bit off this washer and see if that changes it. I'll have to put the whole assembly back on, but it is what it is. And we'll get back to you shortly. So I did have to order wheel bearings for the passenger side. Even though it's only got 2 miles on it, for some reason my HT100 high-speed grease turned brown, which is telling me it got really hot. I can't fathom that because I only drug it a couple miles over to my buddy Kenny's shop and then drug it home. Well, I guess that's probably 5 miles, but I did use back roads. It wasn't going very fast, so I don't know. But I'm going to try and save this wheel seal. Hopefully I can get this out of here, but I'm going to kind of explain it as I go. Or maybe I'll do a voiceover. I don't know. But at any rate, I'll just speed this up so it's fast, I guess. The new bearings have arrived. We are now going to install the inside race, which I believe is this one. Yeah. This is the one we're going to need. Uh-oh. Look, we're good. We're good. So basically, I'm not a huge fan of Harbor Freight tools, but I'll tell you what, some of them are worth their weight in gold. The 50 millimeter sits on there perfect to run this puppy home. So basically, just hold it up there straight. One side will probably drop in like that side here. On this side is dropped in, so we're going to pull it this way just a little bit to get the other side started, and then we're going to run this thing home. You heard the difference. You know when it's home. That's it, and it's in just like that. That's the new race, and I do believe 39 millimeter is for the small one, and it is. So 39 millimeter is now going on. Flip this puppy over, and the same scenario is going to apply. Find out which side's in first, lean it to that side, just kind of give it a tap to get it started, and then run it home. Not yet. And she's home. And the new races are now installed, just like that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, as Captain Marciano would say. So next we are going to pack the new bearings. I guess I should show you all how to do that. So we're gonna get on it. So we have our new rear. So we're going to pack the rear first so that we can put the wheel seal on after the fact. So basically, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'm not a big fan of Valvoline, but unfortunately I couldn't find Mobil 1 HT100, so this is what we're running with. This stuff's pretty thick, actually. So basically, you just put a little bit in your palm of your hand, and then little by little. You'll see it here in a minute. You just work it forward ever so slightly, and you can actually see it coming out of the top here. And that's how you know that that particular set is packed. So then, another pile, move it over a little bit. And you can see it coming out. Spin it over a little bit and do the same thing. Or you could just buy well, I'm kind of old school when it comes to this stuff. Could buy a bearing packer, I suppose. Can't really see it because it's coming out in my hand, but just little by little you work it. Keep taking little stabs at it. And you can see it coming out on the top. You see it coming through. Spin it a little bit more, a little more grease. Spin it a little more. A little more. We're almost there. It's messy, but there it is. Now that whole bearing is packed. I am a fan of putting a little more inside the hub, just in case. Probably don't need it, but old habits die hard, I suppose. And then we're going to put a little bit around the bearing. Yes, again, it's messy. But can't say my bearings are dry. I do suggest that the mating surface of the wheel seal be dry, so to speak. Only because you don't want it to slip out. I mean, it may not, but again, it's just what I do. Maybe it's overkill, or maybe it's not necessary, but I do it just because it's the way my brain works, I suppose. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, so now, wheel seal. And we're going to very, very lightly bottom that out. And that rear bearing or inner bearing is done. So now we're going to flip this over. Try to do this without getting grease on the rotor. Ugh. And now we're going to pack the front bearing. Again, large side to the bottom. Sorry, I didn't mention that the first time, but and then again, little by little. And you can see what's come up in the front there. So basically we're going to spin it a little bit and do the next part. And that one is now done. So take a little grease from underneath, put it on the race. A little more on the bearing itself. Or a lot more. And there you have it. If you've made it this far into the video, I do apologize for not having the video of me putting the hub back on, but I'm going to show you why in a moment, why I didn't get any of that footage. And that is, our daughter called a few days before we were supposed to leave and said it was time. So Mama said we got to go, and we hooked up and we left. So I do apologize, but I mean, I'm a grandpa, so I'm stoked. We made it. It's kind of a long story. That'll be in the, I believe the next video is coming out. You're gonna see that, and man, what a ride this has been, man. The whole last week has just been a crazy ride. But I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you all on the flip side.